Welcome to my news show. So normally I do this news show on Wednesdays, that's what I've been doing it on, except starting next week my schedule is going to change a little bit, so I will be moving these Wednesday shows to Friday. It should still be the same mediocre show, it will just be on a different day. But other than that, everything should be exactly the same. I don't imagine anything will change. Life is Strange might be getting a live-action adaptation in some sort of TV or web series. There isn't a whole lot of information yet. In fact, the Rock Paper Shotgun article I read said that it still might not happen, so this news story might be completely irrelevant. I've never really been into live-action adaptations much. I don't think I've even seen one, to be honest. But I don't really know how this is going to work. It sounds like it's going to be a different story with similar aspects of the game, but I think a lot of what makes Life is Strange popular is the fact that you can make your own decisions. Not to say that the writing itself isn't good and wouldn't work in a linear storyline, but each person will make different choices based on what they see fit. To some people, Max might act completely different from the way they interpreted her. I guess if I have any more news in the future, then I will probably put it in later news shows. But for now, there really isn't much about this. I'm almost getting sick of reporting on No Man's Sky. I feel like I've done it so many times already, and I'm already expecting another one when the game is released next week, but yeah, I'll be fine. I haven't hit my limit yet. Even though No Man's Sky is being released next week, someone has still managed to obtain a copy of it. So, this person did something very smart with his copy and sold it. And the person who purchased it spent about $1,300 on it. I can't imagine any game that would ever be worth that much money, but he's free to do what he wants with his own money. He started uploading videos of the game, but then later removed them because he didn't want to spoil the game for other people. Sean Murray posted on Twitter about this and said, "We've spent years filling No Man's Sky with surprises. You've spent years waiting. Please don't spoil it for yourself." Frowny face. The person who bought the game has also been bringing up topics that are probably important to be talking about, like, for instance, it only took him 30 hours to supposedly beat the game, which, as some of you may know, is to reach the center of the galaxy. For a game that has been advertised to have hundreds of hours of gameplay, this is probably a bit of a disappointment to some people. He said that his main goal was not to reach the center as fast as possible, but then he also said that he basically used an exploit to obtain a lot of money and upgrade his ship to speed up the process significantly, so take that how you want. I wonder if this guy was just lucky, or unlucky depending on how you want to look at it, and just happened to spawn somewhat close to the center of the galaxy. Who knows, maybe most people are going to spawn much farther out when they start up the game for the first time. So No Man's Sky seems mostly like a survival game, and anytime I hear about survival games having endless hours of gameplay, I have to be a little cynical about that. Survival games are what you make of them. If people like grinding resources and upgrading everything as much as possible, then this statement may be true for them. But for the people who need to feel like they are making actual progress in order to be entertained, they might see all that this game has to offer much sooner than the other person. Playtonic, the makers of Yooka-Laylee, have released their Toybox demo. Unfortunately, this isn't open to the public. It's only available to people who have pledged a certain amount of money to them. And the people who have access to this are probably already aware of it. But for the people who don't and want to see more of what the game is about, well, there are probably a lot of videos out there, so check it out if you want. Have you purchased the GTX 970 and thought, "Man, this card seems to be running slow," as if it was advertised incorrectly? Well, you would be correct. Apparently, even though the 970 was advertised to have 4 GB of VRAM, it is more accurately only 3.5 GB. There are also discrepancies in the processor information as well, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what I'm talking about. The point is, NVIDIA falsely advertised their graphics card specs. So after many filed lawsuits, NVIDIA now owes $30 to each US owner of a GTX 970. And yes, this is only in effect in the US, and that is sure to make some people mad. As of the time of this video, there's no way to claim your money yet, so I guess that is still being figured out. I'm not going to defend NVIDIA, but if people have been buying this card for 2 years and it has been working out just fine for them, they don't really have anything to complain about. There are benchmark tests out there, and people should be making their purchases based on those, not how big a certain spec number is. Also, I don't really know how long this legal issue has been going on, but it's been 2 years since the 970 was released. NVIDIA has launched their next series now. Why did it take this long for this to surface? I don't know. Maybe it did and I just didn't know. Just a side note, I got an email from Newegg about the GTX 980 I bought and the class action lawsuits involved with that. After seeing all these news stories about the 970, I think Newegg lied to me. Well, that is it for the news. I tried recording Doom before this for the background video, and I got almost 20 minutes of video recorded, and I stopped the recording. I went to go close out of the game, and the game seemingly disconnected my monitors. I don't know how. I'm like, sweet, I've never had this happen before. So I restarted my computer, went to my recording folder, and to my surprise, the recording got corrupt. So that was great. So I guess I either have to record more Doom or find some gameplay footage on my computer that I can use. Doesn't really matter, but just thought I'd throw that out there. And once again, I'm going to mention that these news videos are going to be moved to Friday, starting next week. And as usual, I will have a link to the various articles in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. Otherwise, feel free to rate the video and subscribe if you want weekly news stuff. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.